will acknowledge the fourth wall.
Nice. So, first and foremost, sir, would you be so kind as introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Kyle Hebert. I'm one of those voice actor types. I have a lot of voices in my head, and sometimes I actually get paid to let them out.
And why are you here this weekend?
I'm here for SakuraCon, man, and this is a really, really exciting time because for many, many years, my voice acting colleagues and friends have all said, this is one of the coolest events you'll ever go to. And it's like, hey, they reached out and they invited me, and I'm like, hey, I'm there. I don't want to miss this. And so far, it is solid. It is rock solid. It's great to see the fans come out, and it's great to be in Seattle, obviously. So we're ready for an awesome weekend.
Now, did you ever envision this level of success when you started in the industry?
It's one of those things where I was a kid growing up with a very, very distinct vision about where I wanted to go professionally. I said, I want to voice cartoons. And I said to myself, you know, I'm going to make this happen. And it's I don't want to be rich and famous. That's not the reason I want to do this. I want to do it because it seems fun. And I want to have fun doing what I love for a living. And after 16 years now, this is year 16 in the industry, starting with Dragon Ball Z in 2000. It's been a long, hard road. Yeah, voice actors are not rich. We got bills, we got drama, we got all that fun stuff. And it takes a long time to build momentum in that industry when you're networking and trying, living day to day and everything. But I stuck it out because this is something I really wanted. So any amount of success that I'm able to get, AKA getting hired for a game or a show or whatever, I feel like getting into the booth is like the massive reward. It's the buffet after wandering the desert for 30 days or something like that. It's probably akin to a drug addiction. It's probably what heroin addicts are like. It's like, I'm chasing that high. It feels so good to work, to finally book something. I audition and nothing, audition and nothing, audition and nothing. You gotta have this thick skin, and it's a mindset, really. It's like, well, what do you do? Well, I professionally audition. And occasionally they hire me for something. And there's a lot of work on the West Coast, which is why I left from Dallas and moved to Los Angeles, even though I still do DBZ stuff and fly back and forth for that. But yeah, it's been amazing. So I pinch myself that I do get to do something I've wanted to do since I was a kid.
Are there any particular method acting approaches you have to getting into a new character?
I don't really necessarily go method, but I'm kind of a media absorption sponge. And so I'm studying performances in movies and TV, and I'm watching those subtle nuances. And if I can take something from a performance, whether it's a big main role or some obscure side character that shows up for 5 seconds, 5 minutes even, then I can take that and maybe casually weave that into an audition or something. A lot of people say, well, I can do impressions. It's like, well, that's not a voice actor. That's not voice acting. That's a good parlor trick. It's great for parties and friends and all that, but acting is underlined when you say voice acting. So if I'm able to weave that stuff in there and try to mix and match and create something new, something custom, something that only I as an actor am bringing to the table, then that's my goal.
What is the easiest role you've ever?
Easiest role? Well, fortunately for again, year 16 for doing this, it's I kind of slip into it pretty easily because I've gotten into this routine where we have to, as trained actors, be able to absorb little bits of direction and be able to make efficient, committed performances, decisions, and improvise at the drop of a hat. So everything, I'm not gonna like brag and say, oh, it's simple, it's so easy, because it's not. You have to study, you have to hone that craft, and it's a skill set, absolutely. But I find I can slip into whatever, as long as I have some basic things like, okay, now you're playing a 15-year-old, he's really rambunctious and rebellious, and he's got this mean streak in him, or you're a grizzled 40-something war veteran, or some sort of basic archetype that I can latch onto, and I don't even necessarily need a picture of the character to go on, although it is very helpful. Some auditions, most auditions have that, so when we audition, we have some sort of basis, and we'll see a little paragraph about what the character is and what the basic gist of the story is. But I know when we show up at the session, we're a blank slate. You know, there's no rehearsals, there's no anything because of confidentiality most likely. They don't want us blabbing and stuff, so we show up and like, what am I doing today? It's like, well, we got a 2-hour session, and today you're recording a such and such character on such and such property, and like, oh, cool, awesome, and then we're off and running.
Has there ever been an exceptionally difficult role?
The only difficulty that I find is if I have to scream a lot for extended periods of time, as I think any actor would run into that sort of thing. The human voice can only take so much, and yeah, there's different tricks of the trade and things that folks in the business like D. Bradley Baker and Frank Welker could probably write a book on doing creature sounds and screaming and not tearing your voice up. I don't know those top secret insider tricks, but I do know that I can count on things like Chinese cough syrup and herbal throat lozenges and hot tea with honey to help get through those sessions where I have a lot of yelling. When I tend to work on a Street Fighter, as Ryu, he does a lot of Hadouken, and you're doing multiple takes of that, and the screamy, shouty, throwing punches, getting hit, the kicks and all that stuff. All that fight stuff at least comes at the end. They record the dialogue first, and then the fight stuff. You're going in order, you're doing 3 takes of each. But I've had sessions that are difficult in the sense that, like for Titanfall, I'm one of the background soldiers you hear as you're in battle. But I recorded for 12 hours total, 3-4 hour sessions, screaming at the top of my voice. And my voice did not sound gargled razor blades. Yeah, it's just a little bit tough on the voice afterwards. It's like, hey, can you schedule me on Friday so I have time to heal for Monday's session? Because I've had difficulty with that, where I would record for say a Street Fighter 4 expansion, and then the next morning I'm going in and my voice is totally shot and I can't sound like a teenager on Naruto. What?
Kiba, right?
Yeah, Kiba. Kibalicious.
Yep. What impacts have the fans had on your career?
The fans are obviously the ones that make the job possible, especially now in the age of social media. Getting the instant live pulse of the people is fantastic. It's transforming the way we absorb media, and distribution models have been based on, the on-demand society and people wanting to try before they buy and everything. Let's see, what was the question again?
Oh no, I just said what impact have the fans had on your career?
The impact of the fans. I tell you, man, every time I go to a con, I always hear some deeply personal stories from people that are dealing with depression or even suicide or maybe a terminal medical condition. I know we have some Make-A-Wish kids here, which is fantastic. It's wonderful to make a resounding impact on people's lives. I've talked to not only people that are in a dark place, but maybe people, soldiers, in Afghanistan saying, hey, it helps me get through the night, watching your shows, playing your games. That means the world. That's like real icing on the cake. When you record, you're in this little vacuum, this little tiny studio separated by a pane of glass with the director and the engineer, and you're in there recording, and your job as an actor is to stay focused and give the director and the client what they want for the project. Then it comes out there in the ether, and then the world absorbs it, and then you think, wow, this is awesome. I'm going to cons around the world and meeting fans face to face, hearing from them daily on Twitter and Facebook, which is fantastic. Getting personal letters about how a performance has either entertained them, made them laugh, made them cry, got them through and helped them escape. And that kind of reminded me of something I saw about Stan Lee. He wrote something and someone made a meme about it on Facebook where they're saying, I kind of felt guilty for all these other people are curing cancer and helping mankind, and I'm just making comic books. But then he says, you know what? No, entertainment is therapy. What we do as artists, this really does help people. And I thought that's a great way to look at it. So we're therapy, yay!
Has there been anyone that you've looked up to or who has provided inspiration, one of your peers within voice acting over the years?
Well, I'll tell you, Mel Blanc, who did all the Looney Tunes stuff, is my first, exposure as a young child. My dad told me, it's like, he loved Looney Tunes, and he showed them to me, and he said, this one guy voices all these characters. And I thought, man, that seems like the coolest job in the world. Where do I sign up? And through the years, I've really idolized folks like Billy West, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, all these from the cartoon side of things, before anime really exploded. But now I'm working with such a great and super cool talent pool of people in the business. You know, Wendy Lee, Mary McGlynn, you know, Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey and Troy Baker, all the rock stars in the big AAA games in the cartoon world and everything. John DiMaggio from Futurama. I mean, just the list goes on. Frank Welker, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime. You know, just genuine, humble people who are great at what they do and are supportive of everyone in this industry. It's fantastic. It's a little bit of a different community than on camera, where it's so cutthroat, so competitive, and based on what you look like. We can all look like all different walks of life, and we can all bring our own set of tools to the game, and it's really exciting and wonderful to be a part of it. But I look up to everyone because it's a wonderful field to be in.
Have you ever played Street Fighter or watched an anime that you did a voice in?
Yeah. I remember in 2000 watching DBZ on Cartoon Network and hearing my voice come out of the TV. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is like literally achievement unlocked. I've wanted this since I was a kid. And I was a fan of DBZ before I got on DBZ. So that's an unreal feeling. You just can't put that into words. Now, I'm not going to say I'm used to it and it doesn't matter, because I still think it's cool. I love being a playable character in a game or hearing myself on a show. And I love hearing my peers and hearing the final mix and everything, because, you know, you're recording in that vacuum. You're just recording your own part. You have no idea how it's going to fit in to the puzzle. And watching the final mix and everything, that's really exciting.
And then finally, where do you see yourself career-wise in 5 years?
Well, hopefully in 5 years, I will have worked with the likes of Andrea Romano, who's a holy grail director for me. She's directed Batman the Animated Series and Animaniacs and Avatar, and just one of those super talented, respected people. She was an actress first, but now a really respected director, and I've just always wanted to, because those were some of my favorite cartoons in the 90s and everything, and she continues to just really get great performances out of people. So I hope to say, hey, I'm on an Andrea Romano directed project. I want to work, you know, for Disney and Nickelodeon and everything, and continue to get more cartoon work as I continue to do anime and now tons of video games. I mean, I love just submersing myself and working in that field. It's tremendously satisfying as a fellow geek and as an actor and as a person. It's like, this is the coolest job ever.
Do you have anything you want to say to your fans that couldn't make it here today?
Hey guys, I'm sorry I missed you this weekend, but you know, stay strong. Follow me on social media at Kyle Hebert on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.com/Kyle HebertVO. KyleHebert.com for your basics appearance list. If you want me to come to your con, make sure and request it. Send an email so I can meet you guys in person. Thank you so much for supporting the anime and manga industry. Remember, don't torrent, don't bootleg, get the real thing so we can keep the real thing coming. All right? Thank you so much, guys.
The answer lies in the heart of battle. Hadouken!
Thanks for watching my exclusive interview with Kyle Hebert. I have 4 more interviews from SakuraCon2016 coming up, so of course stay tuned. Of course, connect with me via social media. And again, thanks for watching.